Hi. Ooh, what's happening? Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to another live stream. Welcome. I am here for the week thus far, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. Happy hump day. If you did not get an opportunity to look at the replays, or if you didn't join the live stream on those days, I encourage you to go out and just, at your leisure, look at the replays. And I've also posted them on my YouTube channel, so they are there. As soon as I finish live streaming, I upload to Instagram, to Facebook, and to YouTube, so they live there. And you can also find past live stream episodes there. So today, this evening, I want to talk to you. My topic is competent but invisible. Competent but invisible. And this week, really, I am just sharing, I would call them master classes, right? We're doing sharing my thoughts, sharing my experience, sharing strategies, all aimed to help you to be a better leader. Now, if you don't know who I am, if this is the first time you're tuning in, my name is Waveney, or you're catching me on the replay, my name is Waveney. I am a leadership mindset coach, and I believe that in leadership, the work is you. You cannot be a successful leader. You cannot show up in all your greatness if you don't do the work that is you, right? Because once you can manage yourself, once you can manage your mindset, then you can, and you're on your path. You've set the foundation, and you are on the path to becoming an influential leader, to becoming a better leader. And leadership is such that it's continuing, right? It's continuous. It's almost like, I think, like Super Mario Brothers, right? I am that old. Super Mario Brothers, my brothers used to play it, and he'll just jump over in the first stage. He's just jumping over like one little square thingy, blocks or boxes or whatever they were, right? And then as he advances in the different stages, it gets a little bit more challenging. And even for the person who is playing the game, you just have to keep going and going, and sometimes you are you're stuck on a particular stage for a while. If you don't know who Super Mario Brothers is and the game, that's fine. You can go and Google it, right? But leadership sort of remind me about that. And if you're joining me tonight and you're new, I mentioned on Monday, where do I have my notes? Yeah, on Monday, because I get the figures skewed, yeah, that I've been in hospitality. That's my background for 22 years. I've been in human resources for 18 years, because right now I am still working my 9 to 5, and I've been in leadership roles for 18 years, and so I have seen a lot. And so one of the things that I thought would be great to chat about, that I see leaders having challenges with, is hold on, my light just okay. Leaders having challenges with is their visibility. I don't know, I can't remember which leader who put me onto this, who clued me onto this about visibility, but from the moment they spoke to me about visibility, um, I was sold, right? I was sold and I understood clearly. And I think this is a mistake that many people make. You're not going to get a promotion, and you're not going to progress in your career, even if you are now in a leadership role. It's all about your visibility. It's all about your visibility. If you are depending on anything outside of your competence and your visibility, then it's going to be a tough sell. And I'll explain. And this is the reason why I said you're competent, but you're invisible. You can't do the work. You're learning, you're growing, you're probably a great support to your boss. You're probably a great leader, but the people in the organization know who you are really. Do they know who you are? Do they know who you are? The people that matter, do they know you? Do they know really? I mean, they probably know your name, right? And they probably know that you work in a particular department. But do they really know who you are? Do they know the value that you bring to the organization? And, you know, we think that the world, when I speak to people, we think that the world plays on our timeline and our scorecard and what's fair and not fair. And I can tell you that many things are not fair. Many things are not fair. But unless you have an inheritance somewhere, then you're going to have to play by certain rules. And actually, it's helpful. So I'm not talking about, this is not whether or not you are introverted or not, right? This is not about whether you're introverted or not. And maybe you are. But are you visible, and do people know that the value that you bring? And this is a question that you have to ask yourself. And you may say, well, my actions speak louder than words. I don't have to talk much. I don't have to be visible. My actions, listen. When you get into a leadership role, when you get into management, actions speaking louder than words, it carries some weight, but not a lot of weight. It's all about your relationships, and it's all about your competence, and it's all about you showing people, not showing people, but you showing people the value that you bring to the organization. All right, that is it. That is it. And you may say, well, you know, I know someone who does that. They're kiss ass. I'm not talking about that. I am not talking about, I don't consider myself to be a kiss ass, but I know you have to be visible. Like, people have to know your name, and they have to understand the value that you bring. Otherwise, people will take your credit. Otherwise, you're not going to grow in your career. Otherwise, you're going to be doing work and nobody will know who you are. And it's important for people to know who you are. It's important for people to understand the value that you bring into the situation, right? So that you can be recognized, one, and be rewarded well, right? And it's also great for your self-esteem. So people have to know who you are, and they have to know the value that you bring. And you should be proud of that, right? And this is why you need to be visible. And I know growing up in the Caribbean, you know, we have this thing, one moment, we have this thing about being humble, having humility. You can have humility, but people need to understand the value that you bring. And when we talk about that, it's also about boundary setting, right? I feel like it sort of dabbles into that area of boundary setting. It sort of dabbles into that area of, this is who I am, this is what I bring to the table. I tell people all the time, because again, as I tell you, I'm still in human resources. When you are doing interviews, when you are being a part of an interview, the interview is not just for the company. The interview is for you. You need to be sharing the value that you are bringing. You need to be sharing the You need to be asking questions. You shouldn't be out there just taking jobs just because you want a job. People have to understand that you have a standard, and you need to you need to express that in a professional way, of course, right? And so, do people know, the people who matter, do they know who you are in the organization, and do they know the value that you bring? And that's an honest question. That's a question that you're going to have to answer for yourself honestly. And I see a lot of leaders that are competent, but they are invisible. People don't know who they are. They don't know the value that they bring. They don't know what they can do. And sometimes it is that you have a boss that's larger than life, and they maybe outshine you, and it's not about a competition. It is just being strategic, so people know who you are and the value that you bring. All right, so one of the things, first thing is, you got to stop hiding. Stop hiding. Stop hiding. And for many of us, like I said, it's this humility thing. It's this thing where we get from our parents or our environment, where when we try to express things that we've done, we may have a friend or a family member who is telling us, why are you so boastful, right? Or why are you doing this, or that we are so extra, we are too much, or that sort of thing. Don't dim your light for anybody else. Do not dim your light for anybody else. So stop hiding. We have got to, and this is a part of the mindset work. This is why I choose to go deep into mindset. Like I mentioned before, the work is really about you. Being a leader, the work is really about you. You work on you, and you can manage everybody else, right? You work on you, you work on your mindset, and you can deal with the situations as they come up, because our reality is, our behavior and our decisions are shaped by our model of reality, what we see as real. So stop hiding, stop shrinking, stop being that person. And today I was doing a training class at my 9 to 5, and we were talking about development, and this is something I said to them. I had a boss who said to me earlier on, it was one of my directors of HR, she was my boss, and was her expectation. She said, when you go to a meeting, you guys are gonna, she told us, the team, that you're sitting to the front of the meeting. I don't know about you, where you're from, but I know where I am from. You go into a meeting room and everybody wants to sit in the back. Stop that. Stop it. Unless you are at a particular event and there are reserved seats for dignitaries or what have you, sit to the front. Be seen. Be seen. Be seen. Okay? And so, and I was telling the class, she made it very clear that she expected her team to sit to the front, and she expected us to contribute. And she was absolutely right, because what she was doing was setting us up for success. She was setting us up for success. She wasn't a selfish leader. She wasn't a leader who just wanted it to be about her. She was setting us up for success, and she didn't want us to be like everybody else. So I am passing on, and as a matter of fact, I share this with my team. They know this. You go to a meeting, you're sitting to the front. Don't even make me look for you in the back. You sit to the front. HR sits to the front. You occupy space. All right? You take up space. What do they say? You have a seat at the table. That's such a buzzword. We want to have a seat at the table. We want this, this, and this. But we are not willing to do the hard work. We are not willing to do it. We are not willing to step outside of our comfort zone. You can't want another life and not be willing to step out of your comfort zone. You can't. If you didn't listen to the live stream last night, I encourage you to go and listen to it. It's called the approval trap. I think that you're going to find it very helpful. So step out of your comfort zone, stop hiding, stop shrinking. All right, and you shrink. How you shrink? You shrink because you have no contribution. You go to a meeting, there's nothing to contribute. You don't have a question to ask. They're burning questions. You don't want to look stupid, so you don't ask the question. You may have an idea, you may have a perspective or a comment, and you don't want to share it. How is that possible? You shrink, and so you're voiceless, you're invisible. I'm not saying to ask a question for the sake of asking a question. Ask an intelligent question, ask a question that makes sense, okay? But ask a question, contribute, use your voice, be visible, be seen. You're competent, but you're invisible. And then your presence, you have no presence. You want to run home from work. Your work has events. I am getting all these. Okay. This was a comment on Facebook from one of those spammy kind of thing. Anyway, let's move on. You know those like off comments asking for something. Anyway, so your work has events and you don't attend. I don't know if people don't realize how huge of a mistake this is. You're not hurting anybody but yourself. You cannot want what you want. You cannot want, especially for those of you who want to progress in your career, who want to be a leader, or even if you don't want to be a leader. Your company has a charity event, maybe it's a beach cleanup, maybe it's some sort of event, philanthropic event, right? And you don't show up. How could you not show up? Why don't you show up? You're competent but invisible. At your level, at our level, it's about the relationship. Because what you are really saying when you show up to company events, and I'm not just talking about the annual Christmas party, what you are really saying is that you are invested, that you care, that you are interested, that the things that the company cares about, you care about. And so you've got to get on that train, right? And so your visibility, so your presence, you shrink, you have no voice, you don't show up to places, you go to a networking event or you go to some sort of event or somewhere in the company and you're in the back of the room. You're talking to somebody else. You don't mingle, you don't go around, you don't do any of those things. You're competent, but you're invisible. Competent, but you're invisible. Many of you, you sometimes wonder how people get jobs, and some people are so malicious that they make stories up about how people get jobs, and all it is really about relationships and competence. And you can see relationships really matter, right? Visibility matters. I am not saying that there isn't a touch of office politics involved, but these things are important. So here's my thing. You don't need to change. I'm not telling you, if you are introverted, if you're calling yourself that, if you're a quiet person, if you're going to tell me, well, I don't really like to go out, you're going to have to learn, right? Or you're going to have to stay in the same place. This is called, this is a way to that helps with your personal brand, and it's also strategic. So you don't have to change the core of who you are. You don't have to become the most loudest person in the room. As a matter of fact, I just saw something the other day. I think it was last week on Instagram. I think it was Jordan Peterson, and he was saying, I think it was him, I could be wrong, and I think I am wrong, But the person was saying you don't have to be the loudest person in the room. The loudest person in the room, the person who talks the most, is the person who knows the least. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about meaningful contribution. You don't change the core of who you are. You're a little bit more strategic. Quietness, if you say, well, I'm quiet or I'm reserved, that's fine. That is a strength, and you need to make it work for you. You need to make your strengths work for you. I consider myself introverted. I consider myself, and every time I say it, I laugh because I think about all the things that I do. I do training, I'm here on live stream, I'm coming on, people are telling me I'm looking at your live stream, I love the content. You don't even understand how much it took for me to get here, how much courage and bravery and talking myself like I've got to do this because it is something that I want to help people, that it really, I've had to do the work on me to show up here on live, talking, sharing with you, right? So I've had to do that work. But I'm introverted by nature, because when I am, for me, a quiet, when I come home from work, I don't even want the TV on. I don't want to hear any sort of talking, right? And if I'm going out with friends, it's planned, it's very strategic. I am the type of person who will say, yes, I want to go, and then I'm like, no, I don't want to go anymore. That is just me. Okay, so I can identify with that, but when it's time for me to show up, I show up because I know I have a mission. I know that you need me. You need to hear this message, and so I'm doing this because it's my passion and I love it. So here are a few things that I want to leave with you. I want to wrap up. I need to run to the supermarket, but here are a few things, here are a few thoughts I want to leave with you to help you with your visibility. I want to leave with you some thoughts. So is there so you might be saying, okay, so what can I do? Is there a process you can create, you fix something or implement? Is there something at work that is going wrong, that a process that needs to be fixed? Maybe it is the way that and this is a great place to start. When organizations are around for a while, there are things that are usually done that maybe work in the beginning that really doesn't make any sense right now, but nobody really has come in to really focus on that. Is there something in your department that you can fix, a process that it has been doing, it has been that way for a very long time? When you ask people, they're like, I don't know why we're doing it. This is the way we do it. This is why we met it, right? Start there. Start there. Start there. Look at something that could use some work, right? And that would help the company. That would help the company. And then you present that idea to your boss, right? You present that idea to your boss, you present that idea to whomever, you share that. Here's another thing that you can look at. Is there another revenue stream you can suggest or implement? Is there a way to make more money? What company doesn't want you making more money, right? More money is great. More money is great for everybody. More money is great for you, your bonuses, more money is great for the owners, more money is great for the shareholders, everybody. Every company likes more money. Is there an opportunity that you can introduce another revenue stream, right? You want to think about that. This is your homework. This is how you gain visibility. Aside from what I've told you before about the meetings, about being on, showing your face, being to the front of the room, speaking up, so forth and so on, these are additional ways that you can share your ideas. And what you're going to do is, your boss is not going to rob your ideas, because you're not just going to tell them. No, you're going to put it in an email, and you're going to put it all together and you're going to share that, because an email is traceable. So for those of you who are going to tell me, yeah, but my boss is going to say, they cannot steal that. Otherwise, you're going to have a conversation about that. Okay? So here's another idea. Is there a cost savings that you can suggest? So companies like making money. Companies hate losing money. They love saving money. So is there a way you can save money? Is there something within the organization, your department, that you can suggest that can save the company money? You need to figure it out, and you need to introduce that. You need to highlight that. You need to put forth that suggestion, right? The last one is there a project that you can get on? Is there a project you can get on? That maybe there's a project, there's a committee at work that you can get on. Maybe something needs to be done and nobody wants to do it. Can you do it? Don't just say I can do it and you're not equipped to do it, but can you do it? That's an area of opportunity. That is how you become visible, right? Visibility speaks. Visibility speaks. This is the kind of visibility we want at the level, leadership level. This is how you become influential, because it's a two-way street. The company benefits, you benefit, because you're growing, you're learning, and you are positioning yourself and your future. That is why there's some people that they just get jobs because their reputation precedes them. People who've worked with them before, people know. That is why sometimes you go in organizations and people bring their friends, right? There's a position that's open and they bring in someone that they know. I wouldn't say they're friends. I shouldn't say that, because I sound like a regular employee, right? That is why people bring in people who they know, because sometimes they know this person that they've worked with is competent. Can you blame them? If I was building a team and I'd work with someone that was really competent, that I know who's going to make my life easier as a leader, wouldn't I hire them? Wouldn't you hire them, right? So we know that you're competent, you're listening to the people's brand, you follow me, you understand everything, but we need to get you visible. We need to get you visible, and these are just some ways that and things that you can implement, but you have to get over yourself. You have to get past this fear of not being seen. You have to change your mind about what humility or being humble looks like, right? Money and power, money and being in authority does not change you. People will tell you that money doesn't change you, it just exposes who you are really. It's the same thing in leadership. Power, being in a position of influence and power, does not change you. It just highlights more of who you, it exposes you. You cannot, I have a boss, he usually says this: leadership will expose you. It will expose who you are. If you are a weak leader, it will expose you, because you cannot run from your responsibilities. And it is the truth. And so I want for you to win. I want for you to get better. I don't just want you to be competent in your own corner trying to get ahead and struggle. I want you to have the strategies and the resources and the things that you need and the smarts to be visible and getting ahead. All right, let me know. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. I really, somebody says loving this content. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This person has been following me for a while on Instagram, and I really appreciate her. I think it's a her, yes. I really appreciate it. But yeah, just let me know what you think about it. You can send me an DM with any questions you may have. And I have added, well, if this is the first time and you're like, I love your content, and you're not sure, you want to work with me, then I have a 3-day challenge. It's complimentary. It's a 3-day email challenge on self-leadership. Go take that. And then I also have introduced what I call a mindset mapping session. It's a coaching session. And so go check it out. The link's in my bio. Go check it out. And if you have any questions, or if there's content that you want to have see me talk about, let me know. Let me say here, one of the things I want to do, I thought about doing, is like a webinar, like a Zoom webinar training on how to manage difficult people. I'm not sure, I'm just saying difficult people, like how you manage those difficult relationships. Maybe I should call it like that. Manage those with difficult relationships at work. So send me any questions, or send me any struggles that you are having, and I want to put that together. I'll put it out there. It's going to be free, and then I'll promote it, and we can be on a webinar together, and I'll walk you through that. That's something that I thought about the other day, and I thought, hey, this would be great. So let me know what you think about that. Let me know if you'd like to have that, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're just joining in, you can catch me on the replay. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Bye.